Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/ProRevenge, where OP ruined the life of his cheating girlfriend because he found out she was married with children. Let's begin. I ruined my ex-girlfriend's life by finding out about her husband and sharing everything I had about her with him. Posted by Reddit user Gabo.
First of all, sorry if I made any mistake. English is not my first language. I meet with my high school crush on a party when I was visiting my hometown. We started talking and over time we started dating. She told me she was a single mother. At first, I was not thrilled about the idea of becoming an stepdad, but eventually she and the kid won me over. So we kept on dating for 6 months. In that time I started supporting her financially because she told me that the kid's dad was not supporting her in any way, so I did. In my mind, I was helping financially my future family. There were a lot of red flags, like sometimes she was distant and cold, sometimes she changed plans all of a sudden, and even she had a lot of private posts on her Facebook. And I confronted her several times about this, but she always gaslighted me into thinking that I was just paranoid. Then one day I came across a profile of a dude on Facebook, with a photo of her and him hugging. So I sent him a message asking about his relationship with her. Turns out she was not in fact a single mother. She was married and the guy really loved her and was really supportive. I was enraged. I was played like a fool for months. So I exported the conversation with her in WhatsApp. For those who don't know, you can export everything in almost every messaging app. It will include text messages, audio messages, photos, and videos. So I shared a folder in Google Drive with him with everything, and all hell broke loose. He is divorcing her, the kid lost the father, and my ex-girlfriend is gonna be a true single mother from now on. Yesterday she came to my house. She was devastated, no life in her eyes, crying for everything, really thin for not eating for days. In between cries, she told me that thanks to me she lost everything, and the only thing that I responded was, "You played with both of us, now face the consequences of your acts." Also, she told me that the third-year birthday party of her kid is canceled because of her husband leaving her and all of her husband's family hate her. The third-year birthday party is in my country, kinda important, where every relative is invited and now is canceled. Also, she was asking what the hell she is supposed to do alone, and I told her, "You told me that you were a single mother, and now you really are one. So go out there and face the consequences of your acts." Being honest, I enjoyed every single moment of seeing her so destroyed. Edit. For those asking for details, the reason her husband and I didn't find out before was because he works for an underground mining company, so he spends a lot of time, weeks on end, out of town. This also explains why it was so easy for her to manipulate both of us, and the times she was cold and distant with me coincide with when he was back in town. Yes, I did know the child. I used to play with him and sometimes I took care of him. I never asked the kid about his father because I assumed that it was a sensitive subject. I also used to buy him a lot of toys and gifts. Whenever I did this, she used to tell her husband that her mother bought them. I used to pay for her bills and food, and whenever I did this, by the way, it was often. She used to tell her husband that she got more hours in her job so that she could afford to pay for those. About the third-year party for the kid, it is a tradition here in Mexico. It's like a presentation of the kid in society and the church, but more importantly to give thanks to God for a healthy kid. So losing on that tradition for her kid was even more devastating than what you might expect, not only for her, but for her entire side of the family. About the kid, this is as far as I know. The father is now asking for a paternity test because now he is not sure if the kid is his own anymore, but the mother is refusing. I guess if the kid is really his own, he will stay in the kid's life. And yeah, I feel bad for the kid. I did love him. I was mentally and emotionally prepared to be a great stepdad and give him the best life that I could, and I feel terrible for destroying his world, but I feel that it was the right thing to do. I lost contact with all of them, but if I ever find out what happened after this, I will post an update.
OP, if she's refusing the paternity test under these circumstances, then her soon-to-be ex-husband may or may not be the father, but she's just not sure about it. Which means you're not the first man she cheated with, you're just the first one who caught her. I'll be looking out for your update just in case you post one. And now for today's second story. Am I the asshole for marrying my husband after my mother tried to ruin my marriage by getting pregnant with my husband's dad and engaged? Oh wow, I definitely hope this is fake. Posted by Reddit user Time Report.
I was advised to put the entire situation here as I'm still struggling to understand and figure out what to do. I apologize it's long-winded, but I really need some advice or anything. I have been with my husband for over 10 years now and we have twins age 3. We got engaged a day before we found out I was pregnant. My father left my mother due to her constant cheating and bullying behavior, to which he remarried. My mother never remarried or had other children. The issues arose on my 16th birthday when I went to live with my dad due to emotional abuse from my mother. Things like my mother pushing for me to break up with my husband because she, in her own words, wanted him, and he was the man for her, not me, because she said I was fat and ugly. I went very minimal to no contact until I found out I was pregnant, as I wanted my children to have a relationship with their grandmother, which would have been minimal.
That's stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid!
I found out she had been to therapy and counseling and assured myself she had changed, to which over time I believed she really hard. This was the beginning of my nightmare. At the time I was 7 months pregnant. She decided to, at my baby shower, to declare her love for my husband and demanded he get her pregnant and I terminate my boys, because she deserved my life and children rather than me. She even suggested if I didn't terminate, she could adopt and pretend she was the mother and play happy families with my partner. We had no contact. However, I updated her my boys were born healthy and happy, but I didn't send her a picture. Life moved on until my boy's first birthday, when she turned up and ran towards what she thought was my children. They wasn't, screaming, "Hi, it's Grandma." We informed her she had no right to be here, in which she left. After a year of building trust and seeing the effort she put into changing, I started allowing her to come to the park with myself and family, just in case she pulled anything, which later progressed to things like lunches, soft plays, days out, etc. A week before I and my husband were meant to be flying out to get married, my mother told everyone she had a surprise. That's when she announced she was pregnant, which came as a big shock. Then she announced who the father was and that they were engaged. I was angry, hurt, disgusted, disrespected, and I burst out crying. She called me overdramatic, to which I shouldn't have said, but I did in front of everyone. You destroyed my childhood with your constant cheating and abuse. You tried stealing my partner, staging he sexually assaulted you after you tried forcing yourself on him to end our relationship. You told me to terminate your own grandchild because you said you deserved them and my partner. And now you've pulled this stunt, to which I walked out and many followed to see if I was okay, which at that time I wasn't. Me and my husband talked about everything from start to now. We decided to get married and cut them completely out. We stayed at our wedding venue for 10 nights and did a week-long honeymoon with the boys and week without. However, as soon as we got back to a barrage of missed calls, voicemails, and messages from different numbers, which subsequently got blocked. Shortly after this, my mother turned up protesting that we spilt and give our babies up for adoption or hand them over, as we are horrible and don't deserve our boys, as we will be siblings and siblings shouldn't be having children. We are an incestuous family and she'll be ringing CPS. That's when my usually calm, level-headed husband exploded, berated her, and physically removed her from our property. We've been looking at moving before the twins were born, and we have the opportunity to move abroad via husband's work. However, we've been told this is a step too far, and what we've done is disgusting regarding my mother by my mother's side of the family, apart from my grandmother and aunt. Am I the asshole for getting married and moving away from the crazy train?
You see, this is one of those posts you just wish has got to be fake because of how shitty the situation is. OP, why the hell did you even allow her to be in your life after what she did to you? Why are you even considering wanting her to be a part of your children's life? OP, move away and cut them off permanently. And now for today's final story. My wife's new friends are crude and low-key racist. Posted by Reddit user Throw Me the F Away.
My wife recently got reacquainted with her old high school friends. They've been social media friends for years, but they all, 5 total, including my wife, got together to hang out for the first time since they were teenagers or early 22nd young adults. My wife hung out with them for a few hours 2 weekends in a row. I didn't mind. She doesn't have too many in real life friends, so I thought it was nice that she was socializing with her friends beyond occasional social media convos. I was invited to hang out with them last night at a bar. The group is composed of my wife, a gay dude, a straight dude, and 2 women. I showed up after they all had already gotten a few drinks in them. Within minutes, one of the women began doing an Arabic accent while talking to me. Everyone laughed while I smiled awkwardly. I asked her, "Oh, did my wife mistakenly tell you that I'm Arabic or something?" Because I'm not. The girl laughed and retorted, Arabic, Indian, Egyptian, whatever. It's all similar, right? Then she smacked my back playfully and went about her drinking. I ignored it. As the night continued, the straight dude made jokes about BLM. I wasn't offended or anything, but seeing as no one was black in the group, it was kinda off-putting. The gay guy made a weird comment about my wife's dress, saying that he didn't think a Muslim man would allow his wife to wear one like that. The thing is that he said it to my wife while I was next to her, as if I wasn't there and I'm not Muslim. My wife just laughed it off, but she made eye contact with me and I know she could tell I was uncomfortable. I wanted to say something, but I let it slide so that I wouldn't create an awkward situation for her friends. After another 10 minutes or so, my wife ended up telling her friends that we had to go. They tried to convince us to stay, but we insisted we had a busy day planned. When I talked to my wife about her friends, she said I was being too sensitive. She reminded me that my friends and I make crude jokes about one another too, but I told her that we don't target people we don't know. My wife proceeded to tell me that I need to relax, her friends like me, and that even though she also thinks their humor is a little childish, she wants to hang out with them. We ended the convo without a resolution. How do I proceed here? Do I say anything or just drop this issue? I don't want to ask her to stop hanging out with these people, but I can tell I'm not going to like them.
Unfortunately, saying your partner is too sensitive almost always means that they're an asshole. OP, I don't see why she would prioritize their feelings over yours. You're her husband, for fuck's sake. Dude, your wife allowed her friends to openly disrespect you and then she tried to minimize it. Disgusting. Plus, she keeps going to bars with these racist trailer trash. It's only a matter of time before she's sucking another man's dick. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.